Hey everybody, welcome back. Happy Friday to you all. We made it to the end of another week. Today we're going to be doing a long stretch series. I'm not going to really have any core in there because the Monday and Wednesday we incorporated core into our workout. A lot of our push-ups, holding that high plank for so long and doing movements with it also incorporates the core. So you might be getting to Friday if you did those workouts and you're a little tired, sore, and stiff. So we want to make sure when we have weeks like that, and even if you're doing your own workout programs, if you start feeling fatigued, really tired, and really sore, make it a stretch day. Just take it where you're going to take about 30, maybe even 40 at the most minutes of your workout and just stretch your entire body out, loosen everything back up, and give your body time to recover and help rebuild. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I know I'm moving a little slow, so I'm looking forward to some stretch. All I have with me today is I got, usually I use a yoga block, but I'm going to use a little Dynapad, a foam roller, and a mat. That's pretty much all I'm using today, and most of the foam roller and the ball little mat thing, they're for me to sit on or to use to prop myself up for mobility, because I'm still a little tight in the back and the hips. So when we get there, you'll see me pull those out for that. So what I'm going to start with is I'm going to come onto my mat. I'm going to go down to all fours, and we're just going to start with some cat and cow. And for your cow, all you're going to do is if you go from a flat back, neutral spine, is you're going to relax your hips and your abs and your shoulders, and you're going to try and sink everything down into the ground, okay? You'll notice my hips arch. It's one of the stretches where we're allowed to arch and do some funky things with our pelvis. Now this is your cow. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push with my palms of my hands. I'm going to push my shoulders and my back and my spine all the way up into the ceiling, and that's going to arch my back the other way. And that's my cat. Now I'm going to relax and go back to cow. We're looking to get about 5 of these of each in before we move on to our next stretch. I know a lot of times going from cow to cat, that feels really good, especially if you've been sitting at your desk all day. Push those shoulders out, get them to contract, and then loosen them up. This is just a low-key day. Kind of shake off all the work we've done over the week. We're going to do one more round of this. Pushing with the palms of my hands. Shoulders still stay over my hands and my wrists. Just try to drive it up into the sky. Good long one. Come back to neutral spine and go ahead and relax. Take some weight off those arms. Shake out the wrists a little bit. What we're going to go through is a little downward dog series. Now, it's not going to be any downward dog taps or nothing like that. This is all going to be focused around stretching ourselves out. So when we go through this downward dog and we push, and we drive our heels into the ground, we're going to hold. Then I'll tell you to bend the right knee, bend the left knee. When you bend that knee, you're trying to take the opposite leg, make it straight, drive it into the ground. It's going to make a little more intense of a stretch on your hamstrings and your glutes. And then we'll come down into hyperextension. What it's going to look like is I come to my high plank. From here, I'm going to drive back into my downward dog. So if I go stretch left, means I'm going to bend my right knee. Left leg straightens out. Then I'll switch, stretch right, coming back to center. Then I'm going to come down into hyperextension. And I'm going to, now this hyperextension only go as low as it's comfortable. If you can get your hips to the mat, please do. Press and look up at the ceiling. Okay. So that's our movement pattern. I'm going to come back to high plank. We'll do this together now. Go ahead and drive back into downward dog, pushing those heels into the ground. From here, you're going to bend your right leg. Straighten the left, drive that left leg, that heel, drive it into the ground. Straightening the right, leg. Now your both legs are straight. Now bend that left leg just a little bit. Straightening the left leg. Coming down, going into hyperextension. Looking up at the ceiling. And if you're thinking of this by counting breaths, you're thinking 2 to 3 good breaths, deep breaths. Not little good deep. Okay, let's go back to high plank. From here, driving back, palms of the hands, driving those heels down into downward dog, hips up. Go ahead and bend your right knee, straighten the left, driving that left heel into the ground. A little more intensity. Go ahead and straighten that right. Bending the left. Driving that right heel into the ground. Straightening both legs. Hold for a sec. This downward dog. Coming forward. Heading into hyperextension. Okay? Good deep breaths. Going back to high plank. Last time through. Driving with the palms of our hands into downward dog. Go ahead and bend the right leg, straighten the left. Couple of deep breaths. Go ahead and straightening that right, bending that left. Straightening the left, coming down into hyperextension, looking up to the ceiling. And go ahead and relax, come up to all fours, and go ahead and release the stretch altogether. Shake those arms out a little bit, and grab a little sip of water. I know from Wednesday those triceps might be a little tight today. We're going to go back into downward dog. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into a pigeon stretch. And that means we did this, I think, 2-3 weeks ago. That's where we get into our downward dog. We're going to raise one leg up to the sky. And then we're going to sweep that raised leg through. I'm just verbally breaking it down. And then I'll show it. And then we're going to sit on that leg that sweeps through. So what it'll look like if I go from my high plank, come to my downward dog. Let's say I raise my left leg. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep through on that left leg, bring it forward. And then once I'm on my left leg, I'm supporting myself here. I'm going to sit into this stretch. Okay, and I'm going to drive my chest into the ground if I can. Or if you want, you can kind of tilt this leg over just a little bit, and you're going to feel a really big stretch on your glutes back here. That's why you're supporting yourself with this back leg and knee and these hands. So that will help you to control how deep you make that stretch. You're not just trying to fall into this, okay? You want to control it and feel that stretch through the glute. So that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, just make sure I got all my ports. Getting into high plank. Okay, getting ready. Pushing with the palms of the hand, downward dog. Bringing my right leg up. Hold. Sweeping through. Right leg down. Sitting into a pigeon stretch. And this is for the glutes, mainly. And as you sit into this stretch, just give yourself about 2 pulses. Figure about 3 breaths. Those pulses are me raising my chest up and coming down. And just intensifying that stretch on the glutes. Okay? After 2 of those, I'm going to go ahead and take my body weight, and I'm going to come back. Right leg goes back into high plank. From here, driving back into downward dog. Raising the left leg. Coming forward with that left leg, sweeping through, sitting on that left leg. And again, as I get deeper into this stretch, driving my chest into the ground, sitting, putting more body weight into this stretch. Okay? After 2 of those, coming back into high plank, getting ready, downward dog. From here, right leg up, sweeping through with that right leg, and coming down. Hopefully the second time we go through these stretches, you're able to get a little bit deeper. You'll notice my foot might come over a little bit more, and I'll get a little more external rotation. Just deepening that stretch. After my 2 pulses, I'll come up, back to high plank, getting ready, downward dog, a couple of breaths, left leg up, bringing that left leg forward, onto the mat, adjusting as needed, and getting deep into this stretch. And these stretches, they're not something that causes so much intensity that you're trying to hold your breath to hold the position. If you're finding that you are holding your breath, you can do blocks or books, kind of put your torso up a little bit more to where you don't have as much pressure on the knee and on the glute. From here, we'll go back to high plank and down on all fours, and let's go ahead and relax. Go ahead and grab some water. Like I said, nice and easy today. Nothing crazy. All about recovery. Grab a little water. We're going to go through the world's greatest stretch. There's going to be one part of the hamstring we'll do. I know we've done world's greatest stretch quite a bit, but we're going to take some of it out and add in the upper body part of this stretch. So we're going to go from high plank. I'm going to start on my left side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for world's greatest stretch from this high plank. I'm going to bring my left leg forward and plant on it. Now you'll notice my right leg is still up. If this is very uncomfortable for you to where you can't have your palms down, put that knee down. We're going to put it down anyways, but what we're looking to do here is get some knee drives going, and that's where I'm trying to drop this right hip and drive this knee forward a little bit. And then I'll pulse back and come in, drive, and drive. Then I'll drop my knee to the ground. From here, we're going to do the hamstring portion of it. And that's where I'm going to slowly walk myself back. I do have I'm not trying to come up on my heel. I have my foot flat. And you really want to do this slowly because this can be really intense on the hamstring. And then you come forward into a knee drive. Coming back, this is our second one. I usually go for 3. And if you find this is kind of a pinch point for you, you might want to do more than 3, or you might do 3 but just hold the stretch a little bit longer if you find you're stiff or really sore in this area. Okay, from there we got our knee drives done. Now this is normally where I would say bring your heel up and come up, but what we're going to do is we're going to plant our right hands on the ground. I'm going to take my left elbow and I'm going to try and touch my left ankle, and then I'm going to come up and twist. Coming down, driving left elbow to left ankle. Then I'm going to turn, twist, and try and get this hand twisted to the sky. And this is where we start getting some lumbar and thoracic action. Right? Here's my third one. Boom. Okay, coming back to center. Now I'm going to come up, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my right arm. I do adjust my foot for this, bring it in a little bit. Me reaching over, my twist isn't quite that good, so I'll bring my leg in line, put my right arm over my left leg. I'm going to twist and point to that back wall. Now this one, I only do 1, but I just do a really good hold. Okay. Give yourself about 3 breaths and go ahead and relax.
Coming down, we're going to go back to the ground. I'm going to lift my right leg, coming up off to the ground, and I'm going to go back to my high plank. Sit in this high plank. From here, right leg forward. Now I'm going to do my knee drives. And again, if this is too intense, just drop that knee to the ground and do your 3 knee drives. If you want to add intensity to it, just come up on those toes. And again, I'm trying to drive that left hip into the ground while I'm pushing forward onto my knee. Then I'm going to release, go back to center. There's 2 and 3. Now I'm going to drop my left knee. I'm going to walk my hands back and really gently pushing into this hamstring stretch. Foot flat on the ground. There's 1. Coming forward into a knee drive. Going back. There's 2. Coming forward to your knee drive. Driving back, nice and easy for 3. Coming back to center. And from here, left arm's going to be planted. I'm going to take my right elbow and try and touch my right ankle. Then I'm going to twist up, take my right hand and point it to the ceiling. That's 1. Coming down, right elbow to ankle, twisting up, coming down. Here's our 3rd one. Going up, coming back to center, coming up. Again, I'm readjusting my foot to make this last torso stretch. Take my left arm over my right knee. I'm going to twist back and point at the opposite wall behind me. And again, this is when I hold for good 2 to 3 deep breaths. All that upper body work we did this week, this is a good way to stretch it out, especially from the back exercises. Go ahead and relax. Coming back down, left knee goes up, back into high plank. We're going to go through this one more time. Like I said, really good stretch. We want to loosen it all up. So left leg forward. You might find you might be able to go a little bit further with this time. Going into my knee drives. I know the second time around it's easier for me to keep my palms on the ground versus them being up on my fingertips. Then my 3rd one. Dropping my knee down, going into my hamstring. Walking my hands back. What I also think of is my right glute trying to sit on my right foot. Coming forward into a knee drive. There's 1. Going back for 2. Coming forward. Walking back. Here's our 3rd one. Coming forward. It's the last knee drive. Coming back to center. Planting on my right arm. Taking my left elbow to left ankle. Twisting. Hand to the sky. Coming down. Ankle. Twisting. To the sky. Last one. Coming down. Heading up. And coming back to center, walking myself up, adjusting as needed, so you keep your balance for this twist part. Taking my right hand over left knee, looking back behind me. Try and reach a little bit further if you can. Go ahead and release, coming back to center, both hands down. Right knee comes up, back to high plank. Readjust, getting ready. Right leg forward. Okay? Going into knee drives. There's 1, 2, and 3. From there, dropping my knee down, getting ready for that hamstring stretch. Walking back, nice and easy. I know as I try to get deeper, that foot wants to come up. Knee drive, there's 1. Coming back for hamstring. Going to knee drive. There's 2. Walking back. Coming forward. That's 3. Left arm is going to plant. Right elbow goes to right ankle. Twisting up to the sky. There's 1. Coming back down. Driving that elbow to my ankle. Twisting, coming up. There's 2. Coming down. Elbow to ankle. Twisting up. There's 3. Coming down, back to center. Bringing myself up. Readjusting as needed to keep our balance. From there, left arm over right knee. Twisting my body, turning, and pointing at the back wall. You will find one side is going to probably go a little bit further than the other. I know I can twist a little further on my right than my left. After 3 breaths, go ahead and release, coming back to center, coming down, bringing the leg up, going back to high plank, and down on all 4s, and relax. Good job, nice work. That is our World Greatest Stretch series. And that part of the series hits the whole body, which is kind of nice after everything we did this week. So be sure to get some water, dry off if needed. It's a running theme with me. From there, we're going to go into a scorpion stretch before we start working through the seated part of this series. And a scorpion stretch is a good back stretch, but you have to be really careful with it that you control the intensity, because it is going to put a little bit of torque on the spine. So you want to control how far you go and take your time doing it. But we're going to come down to our bellies. And how I do this is I come out to a T, and you're going to cross one leg over the other and open your hips up, trying to keep your feet and shoulders flat to the ground. All right, now a good way, if you haven't done this before, is just cross your legs and just open your hips up a little bit and see how your back feels. If it feels okay, what you can do is you can take that leg that's crossing over, you can open it up a little bit more. You'll notice I'm just keeping it relatively straight, because this way I can control how deep I want to make this stretch. Now the further I drive like my left shoulder into the ground, the more I'm going to feel the twist on the back, but also the stretch all the way through. Okay? If you need to, you can, that's what I was trying to avoid, but you can bend your leg if you really want to go for it. But I'm usually a straight legger. Go here, we're just holding for about 2 to 3 breaths, coming back to center, and then switching sides, center yourself, getting ready, open, and twist. And you'll see like my shoulders will come up. We do want to try and keep our shoulders driven into the ground as much as we can. If we're thinking we want to go more distance, if I bring my shoulders up, I'm not really stretching, I'm just moving. And I want to get a good stretch, so I try to drive my shoulders into the ground. Go ahead and slowly come back. Reposition, one more on each side. Driving those shoulders into the ground. Coming back. Opposite leg. Last time. Be really gentle with this. Don't let your legs flop. It is a stretch that if you don't control, you could potentially hurt yourselves, right? So we're always in control of our bodies. Coming back, nice and slow and easy. Back down, coming up. Good job, nice work. Way to be. So that rounds out most of our high plank stretch series. Now we're going to go into the seated portion, and that is where you can use a yoga block, stack of textbooks. You can even sit on a foam roller if you want to work on some balance. And we'll go through this part of the stretch series. I need to go grab my foam roller for one part of it. So let's go ahead and segue into that. So what we're going to start with is a butterfly stretch. Okay? And for that, you can just sit. You've got the mobility for it. I am using something to lift my hips up a little bit, just so it's easier on my hip flexors. These foam. So butterfly stretch. I'm going to put my feet together. Okay? Centering this. I know the block I'm sitting on, I gotta learn to keep my balance. We're gonna dump it. Go from the ground. Ooh, yeah, I can feel that. So, butterfly, what you're looking at doing is bringing your knees up, trying to squeeze your elbows together. Now, from here, when I go to push down, I'm trying to lift my chest up and straighten my back, okay? So driving my legs down, trying to get them to the ground, and then I'm gonna straighten my back and try and bring my chest up. There's one. Coming down. And like I said, if you don't have a yoga block, textbooks work great too. Just grab 3 or 4 textbooks, stack them on the ground to give you something to sit on. Drive them to the ground. Nice and easy. And go ahead and relax. From here, you can straighten your legs out and shake it out. From here, we're going to go cross-legged. Up. We'll give you a couple of inches for this part. Let's go through that one more time. Yeah, there we go. I can actually sit up. Falling forward into yourself, it's kind of hard. You only feel it in the hips, and you should get it through the lower back and squeezing your back muscles, right? So that way when you're sitting up, and that's why if you can't really do that, that's why you usually grab a block or some textbooks to kind of pick your hips up so you can squeeze your back and sit up straight. So let's go through butterfly again. Elbows. And ready, driving down. Squeezing my chest, squeezing my back muscles up to the sky. Go ahead and relax. Press. A cross-leg position, and we're going to work through some upper arms or upper body stretches. You remember this from the last couple weeks. I've really enjoyed these, especially with the upper body exercises and all the push-ups we've been doing. It usually feels good by Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and cross my legs, sitting nice and tall. Make sure I don't tear that off. What we're going to do is we're going to intertwine our arms, whichever way that's comfortable for you. For me, I have my left going over my right, so I'm palm to palm, and then I point as high as I can to the sky, right? We want to try and get it all the way up. Once we're in this position, what you're going to do is you're going to press your hands, point to the ceiling, and I'm thinking of my upper arms plugging my ears. So I press. And from that press, what I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze, meaning keep my palms together, but drive my elbows back and down. And you should feel this in the rear delts, rhomboids, and traps. Okay? Release and press. driving those elbows down. One more time. And press. And go ahead and relax. Shake the shoulders out a little bit. We're going to go through that one more time. I know, and this is nice and easy, so we're not looking at just jumping into it. We don't really want to get a whole lot of muscle burn out of this. We just want to get some activation going. Increase blood flow to the muscles that might be sore. So from here, again, intertwining your palms, bringing my palms up over my head. Hopefully I go a little bit further this time. Pressing, trying to drive my hands to the ceiling and plug my ears. And from there, I'm going to squeeze my back, dropping the elbows, pressing to the sky, driving back, squeeze your back. Don't let those elbows come forward, just squeeze. Try to bring your palms to behind your head, press into the sky, driving those elbows down. And relax, shake it out a little bit, nice and easy. Grab a little bit of water. And we're gonna do 2 little side tilts. And then a little chest and back to the sky. So for this, if you wanna make it more intense, you can keep your palms intertwined up over your head. I'm gonna go with my palms together over my head. And then I'm just gonna tilt and stretch, and I'm gonna try and open up this part of my body. Obliques, serratus, all that stuff on the side. We did a lot of side planks, planks with hip touches. Okay. And from here, coming back, and over to the opposite side. And I am pulling a little bit with like my left hand. I am trying to stretch my right side. Coming back to center, and go ahead and relax. Pick it out a little bit, nice and easy. We'll do that one more time, and then I'll use the foam roller to kind of sit back and open up the front shoulders and chest, especially from all our push-ups this week, right? Going back, interlacing my hands, pointing straight up, tilting to my right, opening up my left side. Lats, obliques, this should all feel pretty good right now. After a few breaths, coming back to center, shifting over, opposite side. Nice and easy. Coming back to center, and relax, shake it out. Good job, nice work. We've got one more stretch left. I know, can you believe this? 30 minutes. It's kind of nice. And what this is going to be is I'm using the foam roller. If you have the mobility to sit tall and sit back, you can do this from the floor. I use the foam roller because then I can actually drive into it. So what I'm looking at doing is from cross-leg position, I push into my foam roller, open my chest up, and sit back into it. After a few breaths, I'm gonna relax, coming forward, shake it out a little bit. And again, resetting, get ready. And I can even roll back on this foam roller to stretch my shoulders out even more. Pressing into that foam roller or pressing into the ground, trying to drive my chest all the way to the sky. You should really feel your triceps engaged from this, but the chest and anterior delts, they're gonna thank you for this. Especially after sitting in your desk all day. This one, this is a money stretch. Go ahead and relax, moving forward. We're gonna do this one more time. After a couple breaths of relaxing, go ahead, tilting back, pressing into the floor or hooks or roller, straightening that back, driving that chest to the ceiling. it. Go ahead and release your legs. Come back to center. Oh, yeah. So there we are. Good full day of stretching. Be sure to take advantage of these kind of days to give yourself time to stretch and recover. It'll let your body rebuild. And believe it or not, you'll get a lot of gains from adding in a low intensity day. Okay? So anyways, thank you. Happy weekend to you all. I look forward to seeing you on Monday, Thanksgiving week. Woo! Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or just want to say hi, give me a shout out at Coach Whalen at overlake.org. Greatly appreciate it. With that, you all take care and see you on Monday. Bye-bye.